future Sandy, do you remember this time period? Do you remember this happy face that was all excited and very engaged creatively and learning new things and inventing new techniques and how cool that was? Do you remember that? Okay, do you remember the 8 months prior to that where we were in that dry Mojo-less land? We were in maintenance mode. Well, we learned some things and I wanted to remind you of them. So next time you start whining at me in the mirror about how much you don't have Mojo, I want you to go back and follow these 3 steps. Number 1, stay limber. Keep making something. I know our little mantra is create something every day, and that's still important. Create something every day. It might just be coloring an image. Maybe that's all it is. And it might be an image you're gonna toss because it's practice. Keep practicing a skill. Even if you just grab a piece of paper and practice doing your faux stitching. I don't know, practice something that's gonna be a skill that you use. Baseball players don't give up on any athletics when they're off season. They'll go play golf and they'll exercise their arm muscles in a different way. So go do that for yourself. Exercise your creative muscles doing something different. Go try some scrapbooking for a while. Go create an art piece. I don't know, go do something. Don't just sit there like a bump on a log. Number 2 is to be ruthless. I want to remind you of this practice that we have been in, and I hope you're still doing it, which is when we take our little box of cards, our little shoe box, as we create them, we fill the box up, and then we stamp the backs of the OWH ones, we put them in the OWH pile. We stamp the backs of the church ones, and we put them over there, and then we stamp our own, and we put them over there. But before we do all that, remember this little ritual we went through where we pulled out the ugliest card in the box? Do you remember that? Yeah, and sometimes we argued about which one was ugly enough to throw away because we liked some of them, but then there were some of them that they kind of had some little problems with them. Yeah, it was not good. And some of those were even ones that we blogged. So people would be shocked to find out that we threw that one away. Well, why did we do that? Do you remember the whole procedure, why we did that? We were teaching the Mojo a lesson. We were teaching it that there is a bottom level that we find acceptable. So every time we put a card in that box, we always knew it had the potential of being the one that got cut. We don't want the card to get cut, so then we started pulling it out before we put it in and fixed it. Or maybe we pitched it before it even made it in the box, until eventually we had some boxes that we didn't need to throw anything away from. So teach that Mojo a lesson by being ruthless. Don't accept less than your very best. Number 3 is to try something new. Do you remember some of the things that we've tried recently, like distress markers that we said we would never use? They were gonna sit in that drawer forever. We used them and we liked them, remember that? And do you remember we said we would never use stencils? That we didn't like stencils because when we airbrush with them, the little air goes underneath and it makes a little poofy. Well, do you remember the new techniques we used with our stencils? The ones that I'm working on the videos for right now? Do you remember that? We came up with some cool stuff that was alternative to what anybody else is doing because we had Mojo, because we tried something new, remember? So next time you start whining at me, I want you to remember to come back to this video and watch it and let me give you a good talking to. And if anybody else is out there watching, please leave comments in the doobly-doo and give future Sandy your advice on how to amp up her Mojo. Tell her what you think she should do or try, or what practices to start to get the Mojo flowing again. Because we want her to keep going. And if any of you guys would like to see some of my recent videos, they were here, here, and here. And you can go click on any annotation to go view one of those. And I will see you next week. Bye.